We're diving into something deceptively simple yet utterly fascinating: the history of phrasal verbs in English. You use them every day: get up, turn off, look into, and so on. But have you ever wondered where they came from and why English relies on them so heavily? Well, let's step back, way back, to Old English. During that time, English was a Germanic language with a robust system of inflections, word endings that indicated case, number, tense, and so forth. In that linguistic environment, verbs were often accompanied by prepositions or adverbs, but their use was more spatial or literal than abstract. For example, in Old English, a phrase like "he stood up" simply meant he stood upwards. Pretty straightforward. Now, as we move into Middle English, something interesting happens. The inflectional endings start to erode. The language simplifies, and the rigid Germanic structure loosens. This is when phrasal verbs begin to shine. Why? Because as inflection dropped, English needed new ways to convey nuance, especially with action and direction. So, speakers began combining verbs with particles, those little prepositions or adverbs, not just for literal movement, but for metaphorical or idiomatic meanings. By the early modern English period, think Shakespearean times, phrasal verbs were in full swing. Shakespeare himself used hundreds of them. Take, give in, break up, or call off. These constructions allowed for incredible flexibility and expressiveness. You could give up your seat or give up hope, same verb, same particle, totally different context. Now, interestingly, some prescriptive grammarians in the 18th century looked down on phrasal verbs. They considered them informal, even vulgar, and preferred Latinate verbs like ascend over go up. But English, as a living language, tends to resist such policing. Phrasal verbs survived, thrived, and today they're a cornerstone of natural, idiomatic English. In conclusion, phrasal verbs aren't just grammatical quirks, they're a window into how English has evolved from a highly inflected language to a more analytic one. And they reflect something uniquely English: a love for economy, flexibility, and metaphor in everyday speech. So the next time you figure out a problem or run into a friend, remember, you're participating in a rich linguistic tradition that's been centuries in the making.